So, let me be so real with you guys here. It is Thursday night. France, Morocco's just finished. France winning 2-0. And I'm about to have a shower, go to bed. Before I do so, I just thought I'd come on and very quickly just kind of vocalize what's on my mind, kind of like a mental dump, if you like, and just reflect on the start of this Project 1% that I'm doing, yeah? Now, if I'm so real with you, I think a couple of things need to happen for this to be a successful project. The first thing being, I really need to start a nighttime routine. I think more nighttime over morning, because my mornings are very, even though I wake up early, I don't have time in the mornings, because my main priority in the morning is usually to get into the gym, which obviously takes up the most of my morning, right? Sometimes I might wake up like an hour or hour and a half before my gym opens, and therefore, this is days if I'm not getting to the office, and therefore I can maybe spend some time doing that. But I think a nighttime routine, doing something, and I really think a nighttime routine can really help me make the most out of that time period in the morning before I go to the gym on a day that, I'm talking about days that I'm working from home, for example. If I'm going into the office, then I usually don't have time to do anything. I just get up and I'm at the house really. But mornings that I'm working from home, I usually wake up and there's time, like at least an hour in the morning that I could be doing something productive, if you like. And so a nighttime routine will help me determine what that looks like the next morning. It will also help me reflect on the day, because that's another thing. I think so far I've kind of, outside of like the videos I've posted so far, kind of been coasting. There's no real structure or format to even these videos, to the days, or anything like that. And so I really need to start doing that basically. And this kind of touches on a little bit in terms of what I was talking about in the video where I mentioned around my inability to appreciate things that I've done after the fact. Part of what I was talking about is obviously at the end of the day reflecting on the one thing that I did to improve by 1%, or the things that I did to improve by 1%, the things that made me happy that day, the things that I did that I think, you know what, I did that well, or whatever, so that I can look back and appreciate kind of the steps that I'm taking, right? That definitely requires me to sit down and do that and reflect. And so I think a nighttime routine again will help me and allow me to do that, right? So then there's that. Another thing that needs to happen is, I think, time blocking, to be honest with you. If I'm being real, I wake up in the morning and for the most part, I'll operate off pure vibes. Now, don't get me wrong. Obviously, Monday to Friday, for example, there's particular things I need to do, i.e. work. Gym, I will typically squeeze in or fit in when I can. Usually, as I say, I'll do that in the morning. But then if I don't make my morning session, I'll try and squeeze it in later on in the day or something like that. But I'm deep in, it's like I operate best off a calendar when I know what's coming up and I know what I need to do, because then I can mentally prepare for it. That's why I don't think I'm good at kind of when there's a lot that I need to do, and I typically find this to be the case, that when there's a lot that I need to do and I don't sit down and plan something, I often do none of them, because I can't often decide in the moment what it is, what the next priority is and what it is that I need to do next, right? I actually suffer from like analysis paralysis. So like when it comes to making choice, I'll be real, it could be something like I'm not particularly craving anything, but I need food and I don't have anything at home to cook, for example. If I open up Deliveroo and I've just got hella choice, I'm just like, I can often spend half an hour just like scrolling, making like not making a decision, just looking at the menu and stuff, right? And the same thing I feel happens in my life, where if I've got so much I need to do. So for example, at work, right? At work, as you guys will know, I work as an account executive in tech sales basically, and in the role it's so full on that there's so much going on at any one point in time, right? And so for me, I often, outside of what's in my calendar, so if I've done outreach and someone's booked in sometime, or I managed to book a meeting in, or an inbound lead comes in, or there's obviously internal team meetings or stuff like that. Outside of that and any admin that's involved around any meetings that I've had, so follow-ups, etc. Like I often find I don't spend a lot of time doing, and don't get me wrong, like these things, what I've just described there takes up a lot of my day anyway. But outside of those, like I find anything else tends to fall by the wayside, and often take ages to get done. So, so yeah, I think what I need to be doing is just making sure that, like, from a personal and even professional perspective, that I sit down the night before and I plan, okay, what's my day actually going to look like? What am I going to do when I wake up? After that, what's next? After that, what's next? After that, what's next, right? And it's interesting because my son's in preschool, yeah? And we were sat in the class the other day, or even when we first took him there, Rebecca and I were sat in the class just making sure he settled in well. And we actually witnessed this as well the other day because it was their graduation and they went to the class. I say he's in preschool. He's a year below preschool, but we just put him in early. He will be going into preschool from September, but he's been in with preschoolers this year basically. Anyway, that's besides the point. The point I'm making is, they sit down every morning and the teacher will tell them what they're doing in chronological order. Okay, so at first they have a hello song, for example, that they sing every morning. So first we're gonna sing the hello song. Then we're gonna talk about what day it is and what the weather's like. Then we're gonna do this. Then we're gonna have a snack. Then we're gonna do some singing. Then we're gonna do some phonics. Then we're gonna go for lunch, etc., etc. You get the drift, right? And as I'm sitting there actually saying this out loud, I'm thinking to myself, I wonder where, I don't remember if I did that in preschool or in school, because obviously that's so long ago now, but I mean, for the most part, obviously in school anyway, you have a timetable, right? So yeah, that's just their timetable, I guess. Okay, so they know what they're doing next. And I feel like as I've been kind of obviously removed from the schooling and education system for a while now, like that's just dropped by the wayside and I don't do that anymore. And I'm starting to think indeed that like my life could do with a lot of that, a lot of time blocking, a lot of planning things in my day so that I know at any given hour kind of what I'm supposed to be doing. Do you get what I mean? Because I'm bad, as I say, at being in the moment, thinking, oh my gosh, I've got all these things that I need to do. What should I do next? But I'm very good at, okay, seeing, maybe this is the case for a lot of people, but I'm very good at, if I see and I know what's coming up next, then mentally preparing myself for it. Do you get what I mean? It's kind of the same. Another good example of that is like, I typically go to the gym in the morning, right? Get out and I get it done. Say get out of the way, but that would kind of suggest that I don't enjoy it. I do enjoy it, but get out of the way type of thing, right? So that I don't have to worry about or think about going for the rest of the day. But then I've found, and I wonder, let me know in the comments if you go to the gym and you feel this as well, right? Particularly if you're a morning gymmer, that if I don't go in the morning and I plan to go in the morning, it almost becomes like a burden to have to think about getting it done over the rest of the day now, especially if I can't do it until the evening. I think I touched on this in the video where I was driving to the gym. Maybe it was the last video actually. And I was saying is that, of course, like as the day goes by, it becomes less and less likely that you're going to go, and it definitely requires a lot more willpower to do it and go, right? But have you ever noticed that if you have a session planned in the evening where you're meeting a friend, it's very different, you know? Or I guess in a similar way, if you had planned for it to be that time of the day, right? It then becomes a lot easier to go because like you can prepare for that, right? And so anyway, yeah, at this point, I'm just giving you 100 different examples of the same thing, but ultimately that's what I need to start doing. I need to do a nighttime routine, which will include reflecting on the day. Otherwise this whole thing is redundant basically. And also time block and make sure I put time aside to do the things that I need to do. Because another thing that I'm bad at is like if I've got a big project to do, I'm typically quite bad at breaking it down into smaller tasks. I look at the overall thing and I'm like, damn, so let's say for example, my podcast, if I've got an episode of the podcast I need to edit, in my head it's like, unless I've got the time to sit down from start to finish and edit the whole thing, I can't start. Like I just can't start. Do you get what I'm saying? But I need to start appreciating that like starting and working in smaller chunks would obviously, I'll get it done quicker than waiting for where I've got a whole day free that I could just edit from start to finish, if that makes sense. So yeah, anyway, at this point I'm waffling. I hope all of that made sense. So those are the things that are top of mind right now that I need to start doing. And so hopefully, not hopefully, in the coming days, you'll start seeing me implementing these things into my life, because yeah, this series isn't about being perfect and having everything figured out. It's about figuring it out and then implementing the steps to improve, right? So yeah, that's it for now. I'm gonna shower and go to bed, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next video.